Tere tulemast. Welcome everyone to Rally Estonia 2021. Second time we see this event as part of the official WRC calendar. I'm Bex Williams, alongside me is Julian Porter, ready to talk you through our shakedown stage this morning. It's Thursday morning in beautiful Tartu. The sun is shining and we are getting ready for a huge weekend of rallying ahead. We start then with the shakedown test. The first running we'll be watching here this morning, and it is our championship leader, Sebastian Ogier, who will kickstart us this morning. As you can see with the graphic on the screen there, he has a 34-point advantage heading into this round in Estonia. Julian, Estonia was fantastic last year. It was quick-fire stages, one after the other after the other. It was the first rally back in COVID times. They've had a little bit longer to prepare this time around, but we're going to expect to see the same, aren't we? Fast-flowing stages, excitement all the way.
Yeah, that's it. They've had 10 months to prepare themselves now, rather than about 3. So, yeah, we've been out and driven a couple of stages, and they look amazing. And, yeah, high-speed blast through the Estonian forest is what we're expecting, and a good long shakedown stage as well. Like 6Ks off, just over 6Ks.
6.2 kilometers, and it's a good mixture in here of what we'll see on the rally, which is the fast-flowing stuff, the jumps, but also the narrow sections of stages this year, which we're seeing a lot more of. I spoke with Silvercoat, who's clerk of the course, and he said they tried to make it a little bit tricky, a little bit more demanding for the drivers this year, adding in some narrower sections of stages as well as all the exciting fast stuff that we're used to seeing here. So it's going to be a real mix out there this weekend and a huge challenge for the
You can already see just the line from the zero car, you know? So there is a cleaning, and in some parts of the stages that we drove, there was virtually zero cleaning, and then there was a bit. But just look at the speeds. We've already topped 180 Ks already this morning, twice within a minute.
And that is what we're going to see during the weekend. I think that's what really delighted everyone over the years that we've seen Rally Estonia running as an event. It's been going since 2010, and many WRC drivers have come here to compete and get themselves ready for the high speed of Rally Finland. They kind of used this event previously as a bit of a test, and now it's an event in its own right, and certainly well deserved. For Sebastian Ogier, he is, as he described last night in our chats with all the drivers, in a relaxed mode. He said, but he's been in that mode for the whole season. It's a different Sebastian Ogier in what is, as he keeps reminding us, his last full competitive season in the WRC. 34-point advantage, though, Jules. I mean, that's quite tasty at this point in the season.
We haven't seen that kind of dominance since the Volkswagen days with Ogier. Yeah, 34 points. Whatever he does here this weekend, he'll leave here in the lead of the championship. And you can just see some puddles there. We had a massive, massive thunderstorm and shower last night. Big rainstorm came through. Now, these are forecasts sporadically through the next 3 or 4 days. So it's going to be interesting to see. You see Ogier just straddling that puddle. You don't want to be getting that on one side. So he's just taking to the bit of the grass to put the puddle down the middle of the car. But at such high speed, you hit the water, and it slows one part of the car down, one half of the car down, which gives you that really bad feeling. But so yeah, there is a little bit of damp. It will have bound the gravel together, which would be good for first on the road.
Yeah, and hopefully will reduce the dust, because it has been exceptionally warm in this area for the past few weeks. Very, very little rain. So I think the organisers were thankful of a little bit of rain hitting the stages, certainly yesterday and a little bit the day before, just to calm the dust levels down. But, you know, we're looking at temperatures plus 30 degrees here at Rally Estonia during the weekend, and that's Ogier through then on the first run of the shakedown test. It's a 2:59.8.
Dear me, 3 minutes for 6Ks plus. It's like you're doing what are you doing there? A kilometre every 30 seconds or something, roughly? Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of a shock to them, isn't it? You know, to be back at these kind of speeds, and they all say it. It is a little bit of a wake-up call. There's Molly Pettit there. Don't think we'll be able to hear from Seb, but we'll try definitely to hear from the other drivers. As we look at Elvin Evans now and Scott Martin. Elvin celebrating WRC event number 100 here at Rally Estonia.
Yeah, big ask now, isn't it? We were just talking about the Ogier 34-point lead. he would lead the championship regardless of what happens here this weekend over Evans. More importantly, though, they'll lead the championship going into Belgium, which is massively important for those road positions at first on the road, because Belgium can get very, very dirty.
And as you mentioned, Belgium, up pops Thierry Neuville and Martin Vidalga. You know, they have some good experience here from Rally Estonia. They were one of the first crews to come and compete back in the day. 2012, they were second overall here. Last year was an electrical issue for them, so it wasn't the best of events last year.
I mean, Tanak just drove away from everybody last year, and then Neuville, as you say, took that right rear wheel off, which it driver induced out wide into the ditch, and knocked that rear wheel off, which is not what he needs. Which is just look at the speed. There is not a lot of room for error because of the speeds that they're carrying. We just see that 181 kilometers an hour. It's interesting, that junction I mentioned about Ogier topping 180 Ks twice in the first 58 seconds. Neuville at that place was at 108 at 1 minute 8. Or maybe I'm in the wrong corner, but I'm thinking, has Neuville dropped a time somewhere? But you can drop all the time you want today, mate.
Yeah, I mean, this is Shakedown. This is, if you are just joining us for the first time and wonder what a Shakedown test is, it's the opportunity for the drivers to make sure that they are happy with the car setup ahead of the competitive stages getting underway. And the first one of those competitive stages starts tonight.
And then tomorrow morning, they don't need any espresso. They're launching themselves out into the proper, this kind of road. Tonight, as you say, spectator-friendly stage, just gets them into the groove of, we've got a big weekend ahead.
Yeah.
Last year, what COVID brought to us was these different events coming in, but also different formats, short days, short rallies. This is a full length, this is 300 plus kilometers, so this is, we saw plenty of drama last year in just over 2 days.
What are we going to see in 3?
What are we going to see with another 100 Ks, 100 or so Ks more, I think this year it is.
I mean, it's full concentration on any single stage you're on in the championship, even more so here with the high-speed sectors that we have. We drove a couple of stages, Julian and I, and we just kept saying, oh, this is fast, look, this section's fast, this is a bit quick. And that is what it's like for the whole event. As we mentioned, there are some narrower sections brought in this year, some more technical sections. Now we switch to the heroes here in Estonia. Ott Tänak, Martin Järveoja.
Evans has cleared the stage, but we're just trying to get communication with Molly at the end of it at the moment, but Evans has cleared, just waiting for his time to pop up.
It was an incredible event for him last year, and I think, you know, he is...
What a bang that was.
He is favourite to win this year with the poll that we've got running on WRC.com right now. And don't forget, you can watch every single stage and watch to see if Ott Tänak can revisit the magic from last year with us on WRC Plus throughout the whole weekend here in Estonia. 53% of the vote then is for Tänak to win, then it's Rovanperä, then third in the vote, Katsuta. Katsuta picking up his first podium, of course, in Kenya just a few weeks ago, second overall there and a brilliant result.
Takamoto said in interview I did with him in Kenya about just look at that throttle, it is on or off. It's on full or it's off, and then the brake's on full. But yeah, Katsuta saying when we talked to him in Kenya about this rally, he's saying then, before the rally started in Africa, I am targeting Estonia as the place where I'll try and capture my first podium. Obviously that came one rally early, but that's going to give him huge kind of like thoughts and hopes going into this weekend.
Okay, the countdown to Evans's time then, which is 2:59.7 as you can see, and that's beaten with a 2:57.6 for Oit.
You are going to have to be on your A game to beat this pairing this weekend. Yeah, they're at home, but they're so tuned in. That car, they've led the last 3 rallies.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they didn't lead in Kenya, but
no,
they were on the pace.
Yeah,
but the 2 before that, Portugal, Sardinia, and comfortably leading.
On the podium then in Kenya, and a really brilliant result there for them. As Julian mentioned, it's
Dan just doing up the belts already, and we'll just have them a bit tighter.
You can already see the intent from Taka. What an exciting prospect, though, for him this weekend. And, you know, we'll all be keen to watch on the splits eagerly. Starting tonight with that very first stage. Before we plunge into the forest tomorrow.
I mean, last year he was up as high as 5th before he had that huge crash.
Yeah, we saw a bit of it in the build-up montage there before we started. You know, it is interesting that he is targeting this one. I know he's super high speed and the confidence is built from him. He's not had the best record here over the years.
He's not finished here yet, has he? This is 4-star. He's had 3 crashes.
He's never completed the rally.
Right, I'll give him his defence.
He damaged his radiator.
He damaged the radiator, but that was through a heavy landing on a jump, which was a bit flamboyant.
But it wasn't a crash, come on.
It wasn't a crash.
Let's be fair.
But he did have 2 for his first star, 2 in 2 days on his first star.
But if he could walk away then with the podium after the fact that he's never finished here, then that could be a pretty epic result.
I mean, he's got so much confidence in him, and you know, he's just got that feel-good factor for him. I think it's great.
So Katsuta then completes our shakedown test here. First run, of course. And it was 3 minutes, 0.3 the time. I think a lot of eyes will be on Rovanperä here. Good road position, good experience on Estonian roads in general, not so much at this event, but competition-wise in Estonia.
Because they're 16 years old and they can start here, Latvia, places like that. So, I mean, he's only 20 now. So,
and you know what? Day one of Rally Kenya, Safari Rally, he was doing so well there until that final stage where they got bogged down. The pace there, the confidence, the maturity he showed on that opening day.
After Kenya, I actually spent a couple of days with Yoni, and he said to me, he goes, I need to pick something up on your commentary. And I was like, what's that? He goes, he said, when we got stuck, you didn't know whether we'd been off the road or something like this. He goes, we hadn't been off the road. He said, we just got stuck. He says, even though you couldn't see what was going on, he said, we just got stuck. And I was like, okay. I said, there was so much dust around, I couldn't work out where you were. This is a big weekend. Good road position for them. Good road position. It's all gone a bit wrong, or there's been something getting in the way ever since Lapland.
It's been, yeah, obviously the fantastic result for them there.
Yeah.
But it's been tough times since, but they can easily turn that around. Is this the place where we see the return of Rovanperä's absolute complete form? Just 0.8 of a second back then from Tanak's first run on the shakedown test. We've had Tanak, Rovanperä, Evans, Ogier, Katsuta, and Neuville through the stage.
Look at the gap though. 2 seconds. There's 2 of them. 2 seconds. I know road position, and we talk about this road position thing. When you start to get really in depth with these drivers and co-drivers, the road position's a far bigger thing than we kind of make out. Speed-wise, grip-wise. That was a big long jump. You saw them coming kind of like just...
Chris bracing himself for the landing. 140th WRC start for Chris Patterson here in Estonia. That's a huge amount of experience sitting alongside Gus Greensmith. It was a great event in Safari for the eSports crews, for Formo and Greensmith. They really did deliver for the team. I think it was a really good morale boost for everyone. It was interesting to hear Gus talk last night because a lot of the eSports crew haven't gone back to the UK due to the restrictions after Kenya. A lot of us have had to keep travelling effectively to make our way here to Estonia, and Gus paying tribute to all the mechanics who have taken, you know, a long time away from home, not seeing family, to be able to continue to work. And he said, you know, it's a good reward in Safari for the boys.
Over 4 right plus tight to crest, set, left tight flat, 4 plus polite, and stop right tightening, 2 plus through bridge. Left tight, 3 plus, 80.
It's just a lovely piece of road, just when you're watching it, the commitment on the turning and everything.
It's such a contrast, isn't it, from what we saw in Safari, where, you know, effectively you were looking after the car, you were making sure that you had the car at the end of the day in as much as one piece as possible, to here, where you have to be flat out from the get-go, because it's relentless in terms of pace. There's no looking after the car here. You've got to go for it, because everyone is on their absolute 100%.
In Africa, I don't think on Friday there was much looking after the cars, and then they all came out on Saturday with like a completely different mindset. Right, Craig Breen, he's got to focus his mind, hasn't he? Busy rallying away in the European Rally Championship, Italian Championship. Lapland was the last time we saw him.
The last time he actually competed on gravel was the last stage here last year. It's a long time since we've seen Craig Breen on gravel. But second overall here last year, brilliant performance, super confident. And he does seem to do well on these type of events, and even he is a little bit perplexed as to why that is.
Finland, his first podium, 2016.
Yeah,
then a podium in Sweden.
Second overall was his best result, which he called here last year with second in Estonia.
So three podiums, 3 super fast
rallies, exactly. No questioning Craig Breen's bravery, that's for sure.
Keep left for right over crest, tightens early, 3 plus for 90 tightens. And early to the minus.
But you get drivers like this, their styles suit fast-flowing stages, or you've got the driver who enjoys the really tight, twisty technical stuff.
Through the finish, 100.
.2 then down from Tanak's fastest time. As we welcome back Teemu Suninen and Mikko Markkula to the championship. A rally out in Kenya, back in a World Rally car here.
He needs a big weekend here.
I think a lot of people have said that, Tim, and a lot of people have asked that question of him, and I certainly did last night, as to whether he was feeling the pressure of that. And he said he is doing as much as he can to just focus on the weekend ahead. He comes back into this rally, he said, with a fresh mind and a fresh approach. After missing an event. He's been here now 3 times, 2015, 19 and 20. And of course very much at home, essentially, for him, because he's living in Tallinn.
Yeah.
As well as Rovanperä. Sixth overall for him at this event last year.
Obviously the big news between Kenya and here was M-Sport Ford World Rally Team launching their new car for next year. No drivers signed up yet, so this is why Gus, Suninen, people like that, they need big weekends because they want to start testing that car as much as they can and get in that car, get as much mileage as they can, ready for next year.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see the Puma brake cover. Lots of excited eyes on that at Goodwood last week, and of course across social media. 3.8 seconds down then on that time of Tanax, which is still faster through the first run of Shakedown. Good morning to you wherever you are watching around the world. Welcome along to Rally Estonia. And we again welcome back another driver who missed out in Kenya, and that was Pierre-Louis Loubet. He has experience here. He's competed at this event twice before.
It was his first event back, wasn't it, last year? Well, yeah, his first event back when he joined with this car, and he was having a good run until he just clipped the
yeah, he was having a good run.
Something.
I think we were commentating at the time when it happened, just saying how well he'd been doing during the rally, and then unfortunately did clip a tree stump. He was 9th overall when he retired last year. Now, leader in the WRC2 category, Andreas Mikkelsen. Getting a different angle view of the stage now. And just a reminder of where you'll find us throughout the whole weekend, talking all things rally, talking all things Estonia on WRC Plus to watch every single stage live.
Obviously, Mikkelsen not doing Kenya, but did 2 weeks ago do the ERC round in Liepāja, Latvia. Very similar characteristic of road, so kind of up to this kind of speed and awareness of stuff coming at you at a high rate of knots. He would have been 2nd overall if it hadn't been for a 1-minute penalty, so he's in tune with this kind of speed. He's done his test as well, his pre-event test here.
So Loubet has just completed, as you can see on the screen there, 6.1 seconds off the pace at the front. Mikkelsen now being chased down by Osberg in terms of the championship standings in WRC2.
Mikkelsen needs a miracle, really, though. His championship's taken a bit of a dive.
Yeah.
Croatia, then Sardinia. So Mikkelsen now, in theory, hasn't really got anything to drop. He's got to win everything and hope that his rivals have some dilemmas.
Listening to co-driver on the phone. Just 2 points, Mikkelsen ahead of Osberg in the championship standings. And you're right, Jules, the pressure is on him now for the rest of the season. But I think that'll kind of, that'll be motivating for him.
I think the Liepāja result would have helped him a little bit, even though it wasn't in this championship. I think it would just giving him a little bit of confidence, but...
First of our WRC2 cars through then, that is Andreas Mikkelsen. And we switch now then to Mads Osberg and Torstein Eriksson. A win under their belts in Croatia, but consistently on the podium at the events we've seen them at. In Portugal, they were 3rd, in Sardinia 2nd. That puts them second in the championship overall.
Og slow kort 5 venstre, pluss hold inn i kort 1 høyre minus. Rundt ball. I 6 venstre minus, 9 for kort. 40. Flat 6 venstre minus over 2 grønn.
I saw an Instagram social media, I can't remember which one it was, social media post of Matt. And he's brought his own dampers again in his luggage.
I saw he packed dampers. I'd love to know how much that bag weighs.
Yeah, exactly. Was testing again in Finland last week with this car.
On own employer, nonetheless.
Yeah, just a lot of constant. This Rally 2 category is massively hotting up with all the different manufacturers: Hyundai, Skoda, Citroen, Ford, and they've got these big top-line drivers in there to try and promote their brand. Obviously, the next round in Estonia, Hyundai launched their new Rally 2 car. What's meant to be here? They're waiting for the tarmac to bring it out. Putin testing that last week. It looked great. Looks really good, that car.
I flat 5 venstre halvlang, som åpner litt hold inn 50. Line i kort 3 minus, Donnybro. I line, flat 5 venstre minus, halvlang, over i mål. 90.
He's up on Mikkelsen. By quite a bit. 4.5 seconds.
Yep. Let's just take a little look back at that jump. We do know Mads likes to fly.
There's a piece on social media of him jumping in Empire. Oh my word. It's massive.
Marco Balasia now then. It's been an interesting season for him so far. Best result has been third twice in Croatia and then in Italy for him. So he's third in the championship right now on 63 points to Mikkelsen's 68. It's been consistent from Balasia this year. You know, there's been events that he's gone to for the first time where he hasn't got overexcited and tried to be right on the pace at the front. He's kept it quite measured, and that's delivered his podiums.
He's had a good season. Remember in Sardinia when he had that roll and still kept going, and it was nearly
that was
fastest.
Quite incredible. Yeah, he's had an interesting story so far. I mean, there definitely has been pace there. I'm not saying he's backed off all the time and that's why he's where he is, but considering he is so young, Jules, you know, you think, okay, he might just shoot out of the box really quickly and just go for it. But no, he really quite analyzes, and thinks about exactly the strategy he needs to take. It's put him on a successful run this year for sure. But he will also be wanting a bit more. Could be a tough ask here. I mean, it needs serious commitment.
Osberg, Huttinen, Grierson, Solberg. You just look at the high-speed list of drivers that have got good experience on these roads. It's going to be a big weekend, this is. Yeah,
we saw him, Balasia competed here last year and he was 4th in WRC 3.
That's not a bad time, you know. I don't know why Mikkelsen was so off the pace. Because Mikkelsen is faster than that. So I don't know why he was off the pace.
Maybe they were trying something a little bit different. This is entirely what Shakedown is for, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's to make sure you are happy completely with your setup. Maybe they were trying something a little bit different on that first run and it wasn't quite as successful as they thought. Adrian Formeau now then, who is back within WRC2 this weekend. He was 2nd in the category last year. Brilliant run for him.
So everybody's taken in WRC2, everyone's taken a soft. Everyone's taken 5 other than Christensen, who's taken 6.
And that's the soft compound Pirelli tyre. What a roller coaster of a year for Formeau. You're in a World Rally car, you're scoring your first stage win in Kenya, then you're back in a WRC2 car. I bet he wishes he was in the World Rally car here at these kind of speeds. But he's happy behind a wheel, regardless of what category of car it is.
And last weekend he was in the UK at Goodwood Festival Speed with the new Puma. You say he's just having the year of kind of dreams.
I think he really enjoyed, obviously, his time at the Safari Rally. As we mentioned before, the eSports team in Jello had a fantastic event there. And now he'll be looking to get maximum points in the WRC2 category. As Julian mentioned earlier, there's some super strong contenders in terms of delivering the pace out there and the experience they have on these roads. And Osberg has huge experience. He's won the event twice, back in I think it was 2011 and 12, and also won the category he was in last year.
Yeah, I think it was a big weekend for them. So let's just see what goes on.
Continuing on then in WRC2, Jari Huuttinen and Mikko Luka. We saw them start their season in Arctic Rally, unfortunately a retirement there, but then 25 points on the board. Plus, I think power stage, maximum power stage points for them in Sardinia. So they're lying in 8th position in the WRC2 category right now. Huuttinen will really be looking to stretch his legs on this event. It's his 3rd time competing at Rally Estonia, and he was 2nd in the WRC3 category last year. He's an exciting driver to watch. He delivers huge pace. But when you look at him from the onboard camera there, he just looks as if he's driving to the shops. He's so calm behind the wheel. So 30 points for him overall in the WRC2 standings. As we mentioned, he is in 8th position right now, but that could change rapidly around. But a very strong field in WRC2 competing here this weekend. We know it's Ott Tänak at the moment who's the favourite on the WRC.com vote. We'd love to hear who you think is favourite for the WRC2 category this year. Have a chat about it on social media. Use that hashtag WRC Live and we can see what you're all chatting about. First run then of Shakedown completed for Jari Huuttinen. Hot day ahead here in Estonia. We're looking at temperatures up in the low 30s this afternoon. Classification then of that first run through Shakedown, with Tänak with the fastest time of 2:57.6. Rovanperä just 0.8 of a second behind then. Elvin Evans, Sebastian Ogier, Craig Breen, Taka Katsuta, Newville and Suninen, with Greensmith and Lube rounding out the top 10, and Osberg the fastest in the WRC2 category, with Balasia just behind then for Mo, Huuttinen and Mikkelsen. That's the way it stands then after the first run through our Shakedown test here in Estonia. And we're going to head now out into the service park for the first time this weekend and join Kiri.
Well, good morning, fans from a sunny Estonia. Yes, we are in the service park. And of course, we'll be here all weekend bringing you all the interviews, all of the latest information and a whole lot more. Well, before we get into the nitty gritty, let's have a look at what's planned for the weekend. Well, we have one stage today. It's a short, faster stage. It was run last year, but it will be in a different direction this year. Then Friday, stages 2 to 9, so that's a total of 8 stages. We'll be starting at 8 o'clock local time, remember, finishing up 9:45, 7 till 9 Saturday. Stages 10 to 18, and Sunday is the 6 stages, stage 19 to 24. We'll be on air with you at 6 o'clock in the morning, bringing you all of the latest action. Well, as always, joining me is Julian Porter. He's hot-footed it from the commentary. Good morning, Julian. This is positively tropical out here.
I say hot-footed it in more ways than one. It was lovely in that office. It's nice and air-conditioned, and you come outside, and I've been inside for like an hour and a half. It's hot. Soft tyres this weekend. I mean, that's the surface. That shouldn't be a problem, tyre wear as such, but we're in some massively hot action, I think. Just the quality in WRC, but then in WRC 2 and 3,
yes,
there's a big weekend. And me and Bex have been out and drove a few stages, and yeah, high speed. Big speed.
Well, they're fast.
Big bravery.
They're furious. And we know one man who is very brave, Ott Tänak. Now, this is the rally, if ever there was a rally that he needed to win. Not just because it's his home event, not just because he won it last year, but because he is well off the championship points at the moment.
He is. I mean, most of them are well off Ogier, and we were just looking at 34-point leads.
Yeah.
It's quite astonishing. He will leave here in the lead of the championship, regardless of what happens. But as you point out, 66 points for Tanak compared to 133.
Did you just do the maths there? Right, I'll just go through this. Elvin Evans is behind 34 points of Sébastien Ogier. Then Thierry Neuville with 77 points. Oid Tanak, 69. Taka sitting good in 5th there with 66 points. Cali Rothenpera, 6th. 56 points, then Gus Greensmith 7th with 34, and then we see Danny Sordo in 8th with 31. Of course, Danny Sordo replaced this weekend with Craig Breen. But just touching back on that, Julian, yeah. Either way, Ogier is going to head into Belgium, and like you just said in commentary, optimal road position. He's a tough man to beat, and I'm not sure we've seen this kind of form in a good few years from him. He's absolutely determined to bring home the championship, isn't he?
He's back. I mean, he never really disappeared from his form, but
He's back and back again.
Yeah, he's back to where he was, absolutely dominating. And yeah, they've been handed, Toyota, Elvin and Seb have been handed a few gifts from Hyundai. We can't deny that. Hyundai have been so quick. They led Portugal, they led Sardinia, they led Kenya. And, you know, those issues that Hyundai have had, let's hope that they don't have them. Let's hope we have a real massive fight this weekend. And it's absolutely on the door handles. And then you throw Breen in, who's massively good on super fast rallies. We mentioned it in commentary. His 3 podiums have come in Finland, Sweden and Estonia, all real gutsy, ballsy, brave rallies. You know, that's what this is this weekend. It is phenomenal out there.
Well, it's going to be absolutely epic. Craig Breen, of course, finishing 2nd last year. He's going to be battling hard. Let's have a look at where the manufacturer's standings are at the moment. So Toyota out in front, 273. Hyundai, who we've just been talking about and reflecting on what they need to do this weekend, 214. They could make up some points this weekend. M Sport, 109. After a best manufacturer finish in Kenya, and then the Hyundai 2C competition sitting in 4th there. Well, the game is on. It's fast. It's furious. It's going to be absolutely epic this weekend. Julian, can I do it? He's had a troublesome season. Can he do it, do you think, here?
He's obviously easily his favourite because it's his home rally, but I think Rothenpera could be a dark horse as well.
Ooh, okay.
Calais really... He grew up on those similar roads, but he did a lot of his early driving in Estonia and Latvia, which is very, very similar. So I think Tanak has to be the favourite. You'd be stupid if you went to the bookmakers and put your money on anybody else. But if you wanted, and anybody else is an outside bet, really, because Tanak is so hot favourite. A Rothenpera in there. Ogier doesn't need to take those massive gambles. Elvin needs to beat Ogier hugely.
Yeah.
But Hyundai, that manufacturer's championship status we saw there, that'll hurt Andrea Adamo and Alan Panas massively. So they need a big win. They need a big win. They need a strong performance. And they need the car to be absolutely on form and on point. A Hyundai 1, 2, 3 for us as neutrals and a championship would be brilliant.
It would be.
Because we'd really kind of concertina it all up.
Most certainly possible. It was a 1-2 last year for Hyundai. Right, okay. Well, we'll be back at 7:30 this evening, I should say, for the ceremonial start. And then we've got this special stage, a super special stage at 8:30 there. So that's your day as it lies. So a bit of time to soak up the sun. I believe it's hot all around Europe. So whether you're waking up or going to bed with us, it's brilliant to have you on board. Make sure you stick with us for the whole weekend. Hashtag WRC Live is the place to go for all of the social media conversations. We'll see you at 7:30 tonight.